All right. Good morning, everybody. This is the third take, and I'm not even a professional. That's obvious. All right, I'm sitting here. I got to get up again and do this one more time. I did it, and then I realized I had a malfunction in my audio. That's not good. So here we are, right? This is the big welcome. Trust you me, people. I can tell you what the welcome is here. See this sign here? This was a new one to me. I've never seen this one. I've not really paid attention to this sign because when I come around this corner, you know, the wording is extremely small. This shouldn't be here. This should be out here on that road, right? Slow down, we love our children. So let me entice you a little bit. And this wasn't the right direction my video was going to go, but I'd seen that sign and go, you might as well just throw it all into one bucket. We live down that road down there. Nice place. We thought when we moved up here, well, and I have to use the word Republicans because they all portray the fact that they're good people and they're wanting to change and make America great again. I got to tell you what, Huron County, the majority, and then here where we live, right here in this little bitty town, never thought that I'd end up with such a disease and illness from the slander, the persecution, the stress, the fight, the battle, and the request that I've tried to do to fix this mess. And I only fix this mess for the safety of the kids and stuff that's here in this, because at the end of the day, you old farts and all of us are going to be passing on, and you're going to leave this dysfunction or this training session that you have done to the kids. So because you guys are disrespectful, you guys have no compassion for anybody. And I say that because I found out the story about Derek Kessel, right? October 31st, 2005. He was brutally attacked at the school, Port Hope School. You can read it on MLive. It's heart-wrenching, okay? Heart-wrenching. How many people turned their backs and laughed at the death of this boy, autistic, okay? This floors me. My blood boils when I'm looking at you adults doing what you're doing. Your selfishness, your one-sidedness, and your jealousy. You guys are full of jealousy. I come here good-looking, talented, capable, kind, and that wasn't enough for you. That destroyed you from your little clique. You were afraid other people were going to get attached. Trust you me, I did wrong by trusting and being decent. You've wiped out my family, you wiped out my income, and you wiped out my health. I had longevity so I could enjoy my time and teach my grandkids respect. You resonate on that. Swallow that and stop. This video is part of the boycott too. Port Hope does not deserve your money until they learn to respect their residents. So, we don't know what went down, but people were decent to us. We were good to them. The old Port Hope superintendent / organ player. We mowed their yards. We cleaned their gutters. They were even able to call me from Florida and pick up packages for them. Now, next door to where we lived was full-time criminals. We didn't know it. My family and I come here with respect and decency in our blood. That was a single mother. She had a young boy. She had health troubles. We were compassionate. She had health troubles. But I mowed her yard. We cleaned up the snow. We choose to do that for her. But I think in the midst of all of that, we ended up meeting her husband / boyfriend / on and off call 911 domestic violence stuff. We did not know they had a 20-year track record because guess what? Nobody come to my house and said, hey, you need to know, right? That was a full-time battle. When they would attack us or do things violating, we called the dispatch. It was amazing how the county officers treated us as transplants. I went corded earbud this morning. I don't know if that was a proper thing to do. I just smacked that son of a gun. So anyways, It's not easy for me to go into full detail, and I have full detail. Got 9 years, 7 years of battle in the road speed. And I know I'm jumping back and forth, but this is why I'm saying it. Because not one time did this place have the respect and decency to stop the problem. From persecution, the tax, the hate, the drunkenness. Oh, Lord. These Republicans drink all the time. They drink, they drive. There are so many of them that has been busted for DUIs. They're felons now. Now they're the only one doing their job at this moment right now is the Department of Corrections. They're going around checking up on all these people, and they have caught them with cocaine. They've caught them with firearms and everything else. 31 misdemeanors, 5 felonies. That's the ones that move back into the rental next door. Nobody ever pays attention to who that is, and I keep telling them, where do you think all that fancy drugs coming from? You got to start thinking. I live right next door, but hey, what do I know? Oh, look, they had all the money in the world to repaint that tower, but they couldn't move signs for safety. Now down in town, I'll do this here in a little bit. I think I'll have to go down here and redo this again. I'm frustrated that in town is passing 40 mile an hour all the way through. Well, and then it goes to 30 in town, but you can pass like about 80, 90% of it. 55 mile an hour starts in town. I'm standing at the city limits right here. I'm standing at the village limits. You can't, it is a city actually, it's a village, but it's a city. They have the mindset of the people down in the city, down in Detroit, Sterling Heights, Dearborn, whatever. They're always up each other. They're always wanting fights. They're always better than each other. Council member lives there in that second house. And if you notice, American flags. Whew, the great American. I didn't realize that I was taught wrong what America stood for and what you were supposed to do as an ancestor. On down this row, I can pick them. There's an Army veteran that lives down there in that house that didn't even have the decency, and I'm not going to zoom in. I'm going to save myself from having slander or anything else like that, because I don't even like First Amendment auditors unless they identify themselves. But that's just an opinion. But he dropped a dime on me for putting up a logistics shed to put all my equipment and stuff in, my mowers and everything like that. They waited until I was all done, beat my door down at 8 a.m. like they were serving a warrant for a $20 ticket or a $20 permit. Small town. You can drive through this thing in 3 seconds. How in the world did they not take time? How in the world did they not take time to just wait, mail me a letter and say, hey, you're new here, you should have done this? Oh no, they started right out of the gate. And we're talking about an Army veteran. Now, when I come in here, I started my business, and then I put in flags up there that was, Trump, the whole 9 yards. I had people. My business and my flags drew in MAGA. Sorry, Trump, but they're your followers. I was. And in my early ages of 60s, I never thought I'd ever go the other way or even just stop. I'm not political anymore as far as the voting aspect, because I don't know who to trust. So the mayor here in this town, and I did a video earlier, I just kind of did a quick run video to let people know who he was, what he done, how popular he is, and it's his domain. Now, when he first come and met us, and I think I might have said it in the other video, but that don't matter, because not everybody's going to watch my same videos. So when he come and met us in our yard, he didn't introduce himself, and he didn't even welcome us. And I didn't even know it was the damn mayor. He turned around and said, hey, if you ever need any work done, give me a call. He does lawnmowers and supposedly handyman service and all that stuff. So right then, I already knew it was greed, right? Greed. It started. So, and I said I wasn't going to use names, but I dropped the names on the guys that's speeding around here, but it is what it is. I'll live with it. So anyways, the 2 Coughlin boys that live here, they fly up and down this road. One of them's a full-time drunk. The other one's a repeat, just nasty. They'll talk to you when you're sitting there. Then when you walk out, they got like 15 little dirty things they talk about on you. They do it all the time up here. They do it to each other. Matter of fact, the one contractor that always used, he's in jail now for 250 days. I don't know when he started. But him and his wife, they got their own little businesses. They overcharge a yard, inside one of these little towns like that, $60. And these guys only have to drive from 1.5 miles out of town to come in town. And then and I've been sick for so long, I've been out of commission. So this would have all been done prior, because I've been basically coma in this Graves' disease I got. And this come from being here, boys and girls. I've had it, but I didn't know I had it until I come up here and these guys help exacerbate it, I guess you say. And I talk with a lisp and everything now because I didn't realize I was breaking my teeth when I was sleeping. I knew I was grinding. I knew the stress was going on. Well, guess what? 4 broken teeth. Tell me that's enjoyable. So they had a couple pulled. One was pushed up in my sinus cavity. But anyways, I went to the mayor. I thought we were on the same page. He would every time he would tell them I was complaining, they'd go faster. Not even respect. And I just showed you that sign about slow down. We love our children. And when I went to them about speeding, I went to them about moving the sign. I went to them about everything. Tried 911. Well, non-emergency. Never call 911 if it's not an emergency. If you're in your local areas, you need to find the non-emergency number so you are not in trouble for misusing 911, right? Non-emergency, remember it, find it, use it. So I did all of this, went down the road, and I'm going to speed up a little bit and probably bounce back in my story. But I started here at these boys, and just recently I went through the commissioner who had no respect calling me back because he's from here. And I'm sure he got on the phone and got his ears full of what he wanted to hear, right? And so he hasn't called me back, but then I just seen a petition for him to be recalled and up here in Huron County. And there's 2 commissioners being recalled. Now, our story and our circumstance in this county is the same in all over Michigan. Now, I got this page here, and then I have M46 North Michigan. I want to hear the stories of the people whose comments of the truth and the wrongdoing to be posted and not be deleted. So many people are let's just say when they thought they were going to have a potluck dinner, they didn't put the right recipe in for flavor, right? These people are horrible. The thing of it is that all of these people knew me and met me and called me, talked to me, confided me. We had friends down in Ubley. We thought. We met them through our garage sale. I helped when I couldn't hardly move and breathe or talk. I was down there helping them power wash, clean, and do everything. My wife and I both, well, because her husband had a devastating heart issue, and he worked for the post office. He was a great guy. Once he passed, she got all of her money. That story's a story you ain't gonna believe. She was more important about her money and her well-being and stuff. Her husband had 2 strokes at the end because the doctors missed the carotid artery in his neck, but they were concentrating on his heart. Tell me healthcare is fantastic. And it took him right out. He had 2 strokes laying in Bay City, and they had reserved a place up north at some Amish place for a flea market so they can sell all their stuff and clean their house out. She had the audacity to ask my wife to take a day off work with. My wife don't get paid for that. My wife works hard taking care of autistic kids or any child. She's always has, 28 plus years, 30 years. So she could have somebody go up and help her because her husband was in. Lord, people, I just want to scream. I can't even finish that conversation. What have we become? What have we become? It's sad to think that I'm not happy anymore. I wasn't always happy. I dealt with people where I come from. I dealt with liars, cheaters, persecutors, but not in this quantity. If one person here has one thing to say about you, 25 other people will jump on the bandwagon and believe it's the gospel. And we're talking about the people with Bibles in their hands. We're talking about people who run this school and the churches. Do you know how nasty the Catholic kids are? They come from the Catholic church school in Harbor Beach to the high school. Oh, they stopped their grade at 8th grade teaching them. And I figured out why the Catholics do that. They can't control them either. And I'm just being flat honest, people. You people race to the church Clear up all the way up there to PAB, where Turnip Rock is, that closed up place up there, and I'll be getting another video on that one. I have to. Them people up there are just as nasty, and they're business people from the city. They lock all you people out. That's not why we're on this video. This video has to do with what in the world has gone on. I'm not trying to, I don't want to fix these people. I want to fix the kids. So this toxicity doesn't continue. We got to have other stable adults with the ability to have their heart and soul compassion right out on their sleeve and put their time in to make sure the rest of this mess is cleaned up. Okay? I'm not doing this anymore. I've played these boys' games. These boys are tough if all of them are together, just like high school, just like they did when they assaulted Derek Kessel. Again, rest in peace, Derek. I wish there was justice for you. That was a cover-up. They're covering it up in here. So in my time when I was quiet, sat back, my marriage has failed, right? My retirement, my life, whatever I thought I was going to do is done. I have to start over again as if I was 18 graduating from school just to catch up, just to get my ability back. And listen, when I'm talking about those things in between, I am not looking for sympathy cards. That's not my goal here. My goal here is to tell you that you humans don't realize what you do to other humans. You don't care. You literally don't care how other people feel and how they get hurt. I read that article about Derek Kessel, and the statement in there was saying that when they were picking up the glass from his so-called incident, people drove by and laughed when the family was picking up the glass of his death. From here. You know, we got to respect the farmer now what's coming. I got to point that out because my argument about these speed limit signs and everything here, my biggest offenders are the two people right now, maybe three, but every one of these guys around here, I always tell you, respect the farmer and the motorcycle. Spring's coming. Lord, I'll tell you what, people. You ought to see them drive these grain trucks through here empty. Mock speeds. It took me a ton of phone calls. Dispatch was getting mad at me. They don't have the officers up here to come over here and mandate adults for their actions. You think about that. I always understood when they created 911, which I said, again, always find your non-emergency so you're not in violation. But that was for emergencies. I didn't realize that call and dispatch was to have another babysitter come out here with the authorities to tell them to act like civil people, because you can't be a good American, turn right around and post it. You cannot be good American and go to these people and ask them to be civil. No, you are not allowed to do that. They are not willing to take constructive criticism, even though they're the ones that did the assault. Shocking. I don't know what I'm looking to gain out of this, but I'm letting you people know it's happening everywhere. But when you people think you're coming to a vacation here, the people that have destroyed me, ordered things, ordered brand new stuff, did everything else, that ripped me off, brought back lights I never sold, I give them 110% safety and everything else, especially during COVID. I was looking out for the kids. I even ran my business as a license and taxes and everything else. Everybody goes, why did you do that? And I said, so nobody turns me in and I get arrested and get in trouble for tax evasion or something. Who knows? I was making $1.298 an hour, people. All from this town right here. I want to sell my house. We got a nice big house. We put time into it. There's still work to be done because I'm behind 3 years. But who do I sell it to? When I met the commissioners and them, and I even met Gary, Gary told me to sell my house if I wasn't happy here. Instead of fixing the problem and keeping good families here, he'd rather have me move. And I said, well, then maybe I'm supposed to bring up something you want. Maybe I should go down to 8 Mile in Detroit and bring up a family that you need up here. Maybe more criminals, cocaine, right? Rapists, pedophiles, felons. The ones that I have met that live next door, nobody's investigating that landlord, they all come from the city, and every one of them. The last one, like I said, 31 misdemeanors and 5 felonies. So he just got sent up, not harsh enough, but he just got sent up. 10 years of 66 for starters. Huh. You know, sometimes we send guys like that to prison. It costs you and I $1.5 million in 7 years. You know, that's something like that. I know it's a number. Just to house an inmate. I think people like that keep abusing the system should have to wear shirts with signs on them, and they should be working on the ditches, the roads, the communities. They should be at church sweeping up the floors, the pews. Well, I shouldn't say that because I forgot that's where the toxicity comes from. So scratch that idea. Take that off the suggestion box right quick. Open it up. Have to breathe for a second, you guys. So, why is Port Hope like this? Now, I have other videos that I posted up about boycotting the business. I'm going to go back in town again and kind of slide the same thing into this one. You've got to bear with me. You've got to bear with me because I got to drive at 5-speed. And I'm going to pause the video here a little bit maybe and make some moves. And I'm sitting in a lawn chair in the sunshine trying to get my nutrition this morning. At the end of the day, Matchbox 20 sang a song. How far we've come. How far we go. Look what we've become, right? Right here. When I told my wife yes, and we disrupted everything, and we didn't leave a great area. Then people were nasty to us too. We took care of a lot of people. We took care of senior citizens. We took care of single moms. We took care of everything. My wife and I done so many volunteer hours. If we was to be paid for that, I should be a lottery winner right now with millions. And the only reason people persecute, in my eyes, because we didn't violate, we didn't attack, we didn't ask for sex, duties, and trade, for being nice to them. We were just good to them. And when we decided that was ending, we got attacked there too. But it wasn't in such a great magnitude as it was in this place. All right? This place right here. With me being out here on this road and the few people that think they know me just by the word of the mouth, it don't take long for word to travel that, hey, that guy's out there doing that thing out there. I wonder what he's doing. Well, you should know what I'm doing. I'm doing a thing called upset. I'm doing a thing called frustration. I'm doing a thing called I can't believe. It's quiet here this morning. And actually, you know what? I hate the gas prices, the economy increase. But it has taken some of the flack off of this speed track right here. And because the child was hit, we don't even know what year that was. When I went to the mayor and these people down here to change this and these council members, they didn't care. Because why? It's not your last name or their last name. Either way you term that, it's factual. There's so many people up here with the last name Ski, and I'm not saying that, all you other good people out there, I'm not doing this to be disrespectful by no means. And they always said that. They always said the only reason they put Ski at the end of the name, they couldn't spell toboggan. That was always a joke when I was a kid in school. And I didn't mean to repeat that, but here it fits. The people with Ski at the last name, Catholics, Polish, they are mean to us. The maintenance guy for the schools and in Harbor Beach, who lives here, we worked with him in Harbor Beach when they were doing a facelift at that school when we first moved up here. That guy was so well unliked that the contractors that were working on the school upgrade would come and find my wife and I to have answers and things brought to them. They didn't go to that maintenance guy. And then a contractor there was telling me about why, because at a job at another school where him and another guy was working, that guy done it stupid and threw the other guy under the bus and he lost his job. You don't do that, right? You just don't do that. Got him. And it happened, but it happened here. He works up to Harbor Beach, got a nice truck. He can't stand kids. I've watched him yell at him. I've watched him sit there and twitch his hands because he can't control himself. This guy's nasty. But guess what? He's got everybody believing in Booth, and everybody covers for each other. He's got a good job, good career, and he can punch in that clock at the school and take off and leave and go do plumbing and heating and stuff other places under his contract name if he's licensed, and still have a great career. Now, they took mine away financially and everything, my whole life. Just don't seem, it's almost, it's jealousy. I'm sure it's jealousy. Because why would somebody else not admire somebody else trying to work? You get persecuted if you sit on your butt, sit home and you're smoking your weed and don't want to work, right? They always blame you for that. But when somebody is working hard to create something and support his family, and yet you were jealous of it, you ripped it down. I don't ever want you to complain about anybody not working again and paying their part. This is what you did. You did it out of pure hate. I was told I got a lawsuit. I don't know if there's a prosecutor or lawyer around that can handle suing 100 people. That's just a simple number. Simple. For hate crime. I'm at the far end of the freaking state of Michigan. I can't go out there and run away from it. I got to go back in to get across to go out. That guy over there, he's got some sweet tractors. Lord bless, he's got sweet tractors. Oh, I got to throw this in here. I didn't realize how bad they hated black people. Lord almighty. I shouldn't have said that, but I had to. There was a black guy that lived next door to the crazy bunch that destroyed my family and did everything else. And then they ended up bringing rape charges on him to a boy, which never occurred. And he ended up getting all the charges dropped and released, but they put him through hell. He lost his job and everything else as well. Same old shit every day. Yep. That car that just went around, you hear that motor, oh, them boys know who I am, and they're definitely going to be telling people. I'm sure of it. I'm shocked, man. All I wanted to do was live. My wife feels guilty. Yeah, it's been pretty harsh for me to live. But right here, this place, I'm kind of stuck because I can't sell my house to anybody. I can't sell my house to somebody else and lie to them and tell them to come up to this place with your family and be happy. Be content. Safety. We love our children. See that? Always remember that when you come up here. Drive right past this mess. Don't involve yourself in supporting them financially so they can go to their church and put that money in that offering plate and talk horrible about the community and people. Yesterday, I went down the road because I wanted to let those people know I finally, after many, many conversations and stuff, I actually got law enforcement over here. We haven't seen law enforcement here in forever. You could do anything you want here and never get caught. And I went down there and I hadn't seen the postmaster for a while because I've been gone. I can't believe I'm alive and breathing right now. Doctors couldn't believe it. Same with him, he had a stroke. You know, his yard looked like crap. Nobody jumped in there to mow his yard and help him out. His wife can't do it. They don't have a mower. They used to pay people. I went down there and mowed it off yesterday. Not to win awards. Sometimes I wonder if God even likes me. I've lost my faith in prayer. But I went down there and mowed that guy's yard yesterday. But they'd rather turn around and talk about somebody not taking care of his property than to take a look at the circumstances and jump over there and help him out. We love our little town. We want it to grow. Do you know once they start, now this is a relative here, and I don't know these people, they're pretty silent, but this is a relative here to the good old boy superintendent and them that live down the road down here, and their last name started this place. The bar in Harbor Beach, right? The lumber yards, I mean, oh Lord, guys. Dirty, 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 dirty. My problem started, military veteran, I didn't think I had a problem with. It started at the local bar up there. And the lies that went out there, that's when old slobbermouth Leroy, because I ate dinner beside him, that guy's nasty. And all you people falling for the Leroy burger because it's nothing but a burger patty underneath a lid getting sweating nasty. How do you support that? How do you support a bar? You can't support safety. You can't support respect and interaction. You can't support cooperation. You can't support learning, but we advertise the bar to come in for special nights of one man strumming on a guitar party time. Think about this, you guys. If drinking and driving is so illegal, why we got parking lots? Why are we still open up till 2 o'clock in the morning? That'll be another video, people. That'll be another minute. Through my life, I have put myself in positions on my own recognizance when I know of dirty, when I know of disrespect, when I know how people are. If I see somebody, like there was one place, nah, I better not, but anyways, when I know they're trying to embezzle, they're blackmailing and everything else, I put my foot out there to find out. Then I try to take the evidence somewhere else because sometimes you can't get that kind of help from anybody unless you have evidence. Oh my goodness, the stuff I've seen and done. I don't want to repeat my conversation. I don't want to repeat my frustration. But I want to get my point across. When you people all sleep in your little warm houses, do you think about the kids? What you're going to do tomorrow for them? So once what was a great nation comes back to being a nation of what was great? I don't understand why other countries want to come to this place. Right here's Dwayne Coughlin. This is one of my troubled children right there too. Right there. Right there. I ain't done nothing to that guy. That guy right there and the rest of his family members do exactly what they do. Attack. They violated people in school. People told me these same people did the same stuff to the students in school. And these people support these people. They're friends to them. And they still act like that to good Christians and good families. I've never done nothing as council member. He talked to me in town several years ago when I had my classic car up in there. And then all of a sudden he looks at me as if I come over there and wanted to have a date with his wife or something. I don't know. Nasty. But when you're still acting like you're in high school and you're still treating people like that, how in the world can you justify asking God to let you in when you pass? You should already have your card made up now because you've done what you've done this long in your life and you've been this nasty so long that I think God should say, we gave you enough chances. We gave you a ton of chances to fix what you needed to fix here. And you let me down. I'm trying to draw in good Christians and people to my Lord, my heavens, my gates. And you people tear them down. They stop coming. Wow, man, guys. I'm not talking behind anybody's back if I'm doing this video. I can't go house by house and knock on their door and speak to them first. Well, I've never had cold cuffs on my hands, and I ain't going to. I hope a few of you idiots here, and I call you that with slight words of ability and hope, that you can ask for forgiveness for yourself. Don't ask me, because I'm done forgiving people. I've tried that. I've let people back into my life before, and they've done the same thing again. I don't forgive anymore. That's on my terms. People say, how are you going to rest if God lets you in? Hey, listen to me. I don't even know if there's a forever after, because these people have made it to the point where I don't even pray to even find out if there is one. Maybe what I screwed up is I didn't take into their ways. Maybe I was supposed to be something. Now, the superintendent, I think, has got a little bit of something in his closet, but that come from a computer I extracted from him, and then they wanted to rip the hard drive apart. Now I know why. How am I supposed to handle this? How am I supposed to feel about this? I can't. Aggression to each one of these individually just puts me down to their level. You know what I'm saying? Just drops me to the bottom of their level, what they're doing. Me standing out here at the north of town one more time, I tell you what, it won't take long for these people. If they don't have dirt in their mouth to go spit out to somebody else, they're not satisfied. I've never seen these people once take on something happy and good. Now, I showed you that video here I posted up or whatever, that Port Hope used to have farmer days out the other side of town. And they changed all of that, and then they started this little historical society downtown. They ruined it. People complained at my garage sale. Ruined it. Ruined it, ruined it, ruined it. I'm waiting to see if somebody calls the police on me for sitting here and doing a video. It wouldn't surprise me. Hopefully, because I did mention to law enforcement, that's what I was going to do. And hopefully, I won't be in trouble for that. If I do, I'll leave. I ain't going to give nobody no hassle. My story is to say how. How do you change people so kids are looking to be the tomorrow? How do we change that? How do we fix that? Can you actually change hateful people? I know what it is. God, I gotta stand up. I hurt so bad. I know exactly what it is. It's alcoholism, people. That is the only source. The mayor here, the fire chief, and Dwayne Coughlin that went by, and I have to use his name. They deserve that. They all drink. And I said, how are you guys drinking and then answer fire calls? You don't know when there's a fire. There's no timing on that. They sit at the bars, drunk. Perry, that used to own the BP gas station, now that one of the other Coughlin's bought at $15,000 with all the assets, you figure out how that worked. But irregardless, the bar helped him drink himself to death, and nobody's charged. A bar. I was just talking to the people down the road farther. Yeah, I'm hoping this tractor pays attention. That concerns me. But anyways, the bar helped condone to that. That bar helped condone to one of my first problems, was the neighbor who was an alcoholic, and she did a hit and run. And then the guy's car that was hit and run, he come to my garage sale, then filled me full of information. Hold on, that tractor's loud. My garage sale business brought tons of information to my house. And the person's car that was hit, it was hit so hard, it was a small little SUV, ended up in the sidewalk in the yard. The bar, when Leroy owned it, knew she was a troubled child, knew she had multi DUIs. They didn't care. They needed their revenue. I got to have my income. I got to support my habits. I always thought bars were responsible. That bar is responsible for my illness and death, responsible for Perry's death, responsible for the people who attacked me because they go up there. And the more blabber juice them people drink, the more shit they stir. Now you tell me, what year were you supposed to grow up when you graduated? What year was it that you graduated and you have yet? You know what bothers me? These people were allowed to have kids, offsprings. That's like Hitler having offspring, right? Where's the fix? I want suggestions. I want ideas. These people will sink themselves. They'll fall apart one by one. They know inside of them they're not cleansed anymore. They know inside of them they've done wrong. They actually think, and this is how I look at it, because they've just run to that church. Any of them. I think they think that there's some sort of a miracle potion that when they put that money in there or write them nice little checks, that they keep moving up the score ladder to get into the gates first before everybody else. I hate to disillusion you. I don't think that's possible. But it's almost like that false little delusional hopeful. And instead of being good to each other and watching out for each other, they stab each other. They stab me. They attack me. I used to have nice bushes out behind my house with my fence. I swear somebody turned around and put weed killer on them. That's how much I trust this community now. It'd be nice to win the lottery. I don't want to win all of it. I just want to win enough. It'd be nice to have enough to just get the shit out of here, pull that house up off the foundation and steal it from here, and leave a big hole in this belly, just like the death of other people. Rather the person has passed and had dirt thrown in their face, or why they're still alive like me and living with the PTSD of attacks. Huh? How does one recover from that? Oh, here we go. Boom! Here's another one. These are my speeders. And he's seeing me with this thing. These boys are fast. And we're stopping this right now. Yep. Right there. It's sad that when I called dispatch about them farm trucks from that one farmer up the road, these guys drove faster. Do they not know the weight of them equipment when they take that CDL license? I drove truck, I hauled steel, I hauled lumber, I hauled drywall, I hauled dirt. I drove tanker a couple of times. We didn't have the baffles in them then. We didn't have GPSs and or cell phones. We had to figure it out by thinking. These guys fly in here empty so bad, you know how long it's going to take to stop when a kid goes across the road to catch a ball? But yet I'm trying to fix the problem here. There's a sign because that happens to have a special last name to it. Your child should not have a special last name to be recognized. Your child should be recognized because it's a child of your community. It's our tomorrow children. And when I'm talking to a fire chief, I'm talking to a mayor, I'm talking to council member, I'm talking to church members, and you guys forgot what we were supposed to do, shame on you. And I hope your God's taking a look at that. I hope he's looking at you, and he slowly makes you regret your actions. And I hope one day God stops forgiving. I really do. He should stop forgiving you people. You know, I understood that when you had those little sessions once in a while, and you were supposed to understand, learn by your mistakes, that you become a better person, not a worse one. Port Hope. And all my family and I wanted to do was finish out life as a whole. I don't even know my wife anymore. We used to be best friends. We never considered ourselves extreme lovers. We thought that would be too much to smother a relationship. We were best friends in everything we've ever done. See that car right there? You can't tell me that car is going to slow down. Watch it. Now it's 40 mile an hour, no passing zones. We got the slow signs down there. That car's just jamming. Might be another person that don't think I'm allowed to tell them to behave. Maybe I'm not allowed to step in. Maybe I'm not allowed to say anything. Maybe I ain't supposed to say anything. I had somebody higher up the ladder when I was making all these phone calls to be careful. You can get arrested just for doing this, just by talking about the last name people. Seriously, right here. Instead of Port Hope, it should be Little Dearborn. It should be Little Dearborn. Because what these people have done is create more hate and anger amongst a society that's supposed to take a look at the other anger and the hate and change it and don't let it toxicity your community. But guess what? You people were toxicity before I moved here. And what is it that you guys are holding in here? Is this Hitler's gold? You know, when each one of you guys pass through here, do you have more of your last names carrying the torch on to continue your hate and disrespect for your neighbors and community? Is that what the goal is? You only want people here part-time to slide through, stop at your bar, get gas? I mean, you guys listen to me. I already knew Port Hope didn't have much, but I didn't think that that would be a hampering problem. And the only thing Port Hope's got for you guys is a bar. They already ran out the store at the other end of town. We got nothing. And who wants to do business with the same people that talk about you when you spend your money and walk away? Huh? Yeah, I'm blown away. Each and every one of you. I'm pretty sure my God's disappointed in you. I'm really sure. Well, people, there'll be more to come. I hope I'm not boring you people. I hope that when I'm talking about these things that are happening, you'll tell me how to change it, or you'll tell me you've experienced the same thing. And then maybe as a whole, the people who don't want this will come up with a solution, and we can just go around and we can point, well, I don't know, you know, kind of like a taser. Zap these people back into submission of what our world was supposed to be like, our nation. The respect, the love. If we was to have a full-blown on-soil attack in this nation, I would barricade myself inside my house because I feel that these people would kill me first just to take my food and belongings. Love thy neighbor. I can't. Wasn't nothing for me to stop my wife and I. Oh my Lord, about it. The volunteer years we've taken care of for animals and people and stuff like that. Katrina, single parents. When my wife first started her career, she used to take care of teen moms' babies at the school. They had a great program, and the parents, either it'd be a single parent or two of them, they could come in and they could finish school and raise their kids. It was a great program. They failed it. It went down. But I can remember these days. That yeah, it hurt my wallet to put money in that gas tank or fix those kids' cars. Or maybe buy clothes or something or help out. But even with the animals we did things for, those animals didn't want to be left alone. We rebuilt a humane society down there, and we helped the guy get into that place down there as president, and he ripped the place off, and he was retired from Dodge or Chrysler out of the city, and he ended up turning it into his retirement income, on top of his retirement income. I experienced it. We were doing volunteer work free. My family and I have never made great money. Mainly because of me, because of the circumstance that I've ran into. I take full responsibility for that, for my wife happened to be hard working, but I still stayed on my feet to make sure I was fixing it. I don't know to cry or scream for what I see and what I hear and what I feel in my soul. I'm not revengeful in that aspect where I'm going to have to night maneuver on people. That's not happening. I figured with my voice being loud enough and my Lord listening to me, and an old boy that I know around the corner here in town still talks to me and stuff like that, he's got his plate full. He used the word karma the other day. When we were talking about Derek Kessel and his death, he said one of them went to the military and got both his legs blowed off. Wow. He said, and I don't wish harm on anybody. And I said, well, that's where you and I is different. If you've got it coming to you, you should get it to you. I'm sorry. I don't believe that you cannot turn around and say, you know what, it's time for you to get your due diligence. It's time for you to get back what you've done to other people in a slow, agonizing process until you get on your knees and you ask for forgiveness for the people you destroyed. You shouldn't ask your God. You need to ask forgiveness from the people you took advantage of, the people you screwed over, the people you lied about, the people you destroyed. I think that's where you need to cleanse yourself from. But you know what? There is no way these Republicans up here have that in them. Listen, I got to say this too. This is only because it comes to my ears, but the two troublemaking boys here, they got USDA money. I got to go dig that up. They got 50 grand apiece. They don't have employees. And you tell me Democrats are frauding? These guys are full-blown Republicans. I'm not voting. I'm not voting. In all of my years with my rights, I can't vote because I see what it's following. This ain't nothing what I thought it was. I must have kidded myself. I must have kidded myself that I was supporting something I thought was going to make our nation better. And then I figured out why the nation ain't getting any better, because the followers of the other side that said they want the nation better aren't doing their part. But yet we can sure blame Trump, we can blame Biden, we can blame everybody else. But you know what? It's up to you human beings to act like human beings. Does somebody got to tell you what it's like to be nice, decent, helpful, giving? I really think my family and I have given more out to strangers, and we don't have it to give, than the people holding all the gold. The guy down here, I don't mean to throw him out. Daddy buys him a Jeep, Daddy mows his yard. Really? I asked questions. I said, there's some people who talk to me. I said, really? Oh, yeah. I go, oh, my gosh. How old is he? Oh, he's in his 50s, late 50s, no children. Bought the house from a family member, probably have no debt. Worked great jobs. My dad still mows my yard, and he bought me a full-size Jeep. Jesus, Lord in heaven. And you're happy for that? You're proud of yourself? That's what I'm talking about. How can people turn around and create hate towards individuals who've done nothing while you turn around and take advantage of everything? Everything. I wonder if there's a fountain of youth here. I'm going to pick my chair up because I'm going to go to the other side of town here. I wonder if there's a fountain of youth here and they're going to live forever. I wonder about that. Is it possible that the people who are drinking the water in Port Hope, that they're going to live forever to be like this? And they're not going to allow anybody new come in here and change it and fix it and wake it up and make it act like it's civil? Huh? That's got to be the secret. If that's the secret, my house is worth more money to the right person who wants to live forever. You come to Port Hope. If you come to Port Hope with a felony, if you come to Port Hope with a criminal intent, and you don't come into Port Hope to be decent to people, I think you're going to thrive. I think you're going to be able to make it work. I really do. I think this thing will work for you. I think it'll work for you big time, right here. I think it's going to work big time for you because I know what I've experienced in the aspect of hate and disrespect. Yep. I don't know who that guy is. He blew the horn at me, but I'm proud of him. I might end up with followers at the end of this. I know people want me to run for mayor. People want me to run for commissioners. Just like that. Just like that. Somebody higher up. It's courthouse. Never met me in person, talked to me on the phone. Things that I desired that I wanted to see change. It said, you need to be our commissioner. I said, no, I want to go higher than that. I want my state rep's job. I want my state rep's job because he bailed on me when I'm trying to fix danger in a community where kids live and play. He walked away from me. The Republican Party don't even want him in. I put my voice out there that I want to do this, and I'm still waiting for an answer. When I know my heart, soul, and my ambition and my integrity is for the good. Does that shock people? You should want that. You should thrive for that. I hope for once I get a job back to recover the income and take care of my family. Maybe get some sort of life back with my wife, happiness, and be able to move from here. I gotta pause. Tractor's coming by. I don't want to make noise. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here a little bit. Because the farming industry up here, not like the farming industry I grew up with in Southern Ohio or anywhere else. And I'm not being disrespectful to all of them. But what these guys do up here, how they cover up their crimes from their family members and then things like that. They're on the boards, they're on the council, sweep it all under the rug. Farmers. Farmers. Farmers' children. Wow. Wow. I'm going to pause. I'm going to go make some moves so I can get another thought process in because I'm only, 50 minutes into this. That's okay. If I do a few more minutes of this and flow through, we'll just watch how the community is going to react, right? We know that's what they're going to do, right? Yep, we know that's what we're going to do. One day in my life, I don't want to be remembered for the guy making the change. I want to be remembered for the effort trying to make the change. You have to make the choice if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to change, right? You have to make that choice in any part of your life. All right. Gosh, if I drive my car with this camera on, will I be writing my own ticket for operating an automobile with a phone in my hand? That's possible. So I better quit doing that. I didn't think about that. Oopsie daisy. I wonder if I'll just get a slap on the wrist. All right, hold your thought right there. I'll be right back. So right there's the signs. These people got 3 kids. They put the signs up first. I've been complaining. I didn't know they were is upset as well. Not upset. They're kind of reserved a little bit, but I appreciate that. They still put their sign up, and they want people to pay attention, right? So hold on, I got to drive up there. I don't want to be in trouble for driving and phoning. There's the 55 right there, right? 55-mile-an-hour sign right here. And where I was at out there at the other end of town, finger, 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 right out there. That's the village limits, and nobody will move this sign. They tell me it takes the state to get it done. That's BS. I know better. I found the law, right? All right there. Pass with care. That's the village. So you can pass all the way down through town. Now remember, I showed you a sign at the other end of town. They want you to slow down, but you can't see it, right? They want you to slow down because of somebody else's child died by getting hit. They didn't learn from this, right? They didn't learn from this. Now out on Fillion Road and Port Hope Road, a county employee got hit, and his wife got hit at that 20 years ago, and nobody did anything. Okay? You're starting to see a trend? I am. So I know I seen that. I know I seen it. Seen a guy going into the bar already this morning with oxygen mask. This is the town, American flag, big welcome. But they don't have the effort and the mindset to look out for the rest of their residents. Only for them. And every one of them's last name trickles back forever. You guys all talk about the administrations from Obama and everything else like that, and ties, or Biden, and how long everybody's been in offices. Come up to this little town and do a little bit of homework. There was a guy from Maryland that moved here with his family. He lasted 10 years. They wouldn't let him on the council and or the fire department. But yet, the mayor has alcoholics who are volunteer firemen. Huh. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. But yet, another person wanted to do good by the community or help out, and they didn't let him in. Same thing with me. They pick and choose who they want on the council if other council members are gone. They do it constantly. That is not how that's supposed to work. That's unjust. I did not know this is what we were looking at. I did not know this is what we were seeing. I did not know that's what we had. Oh, right there's another council member driving a Harley. I understood there was a cover up there too on that Derek thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, that's a deep word. That's a deep word of something I can't believe. Yep. I got to hit my button for a second. Man, I wish I'd have had my phone on. Right there's another speeder coming into town. I'm taking you out where and I got both hands on the wheels, everybody. I'm taking you out where an accident happened. Hold on. All right, I hope you got a snack, drink water or something, whatever you needed. I come out here to this road here, this four-way stop here. I have to kind of slime everything together in my videos. I don't have the time, and I don't edit right now. I didn't think I had time for all of that. Port Hope and Fillion Road, this intersection. A county worker who has complained about stop signs 20 years plus, his wife died at this same intersection 20 years ago. I don't know the whole story. I'm not trying to take points for telling the story. God, there's still glass over here. So see how flat this is? You guys in other places of Michigan and everything else, look at how much room you can see. Yet two people died on this corner. You know what I think, and I'm speculating? The bar. It's too close to Port Hope. I've seen other cover-ups, drinking and driving and falling in. Some of these ditches are deep. Some of these ditches in another part of the county are, they're 8 foot deep. There's glass all over here. Must have been from that. He's still in the hospital trying to recover. And the county says that the state has to do this. You know that's a lie? Well, let me back that up again. That's misinformation. Cross traffic doesn't stop, right? They already had a death here, then they had an injury. Cross traffic doesn't stop. There's a law on the books, and not a one of these commissioners, county employees, the mayor of Port Hope, or my state rep, commissioner, or anybody's doing anything to change what needs to be fixed. I have went up the ladder, I've yelled and I've hollered. What these people do here is they go, we'll wait 6 weeks and everybody will forget about it. Let's not fix it. I'm not doing this for him, I'm doing this for us. There's another spot because somebody ran this sign. That's what I understand. I tried to reach out to the Sun. I haven't heard from anybody. I hope that's not because the County Road Commission helped destroy my business too, because they come and bought a light off of me and then went and found it themselves, and I was right here wanting to run a business. I could have saved them money and taken away, I could have saved our tax-paying dollars by taking care of all their public safety stuff, even law enforcement, but that's their choice. I didn't realize I had to have a last name. I thought in order to be appreciative in a business and job and everything, you had to have the ability to know at least what you were doing, and then people would come. I was wrong. But there's a law on the books. And when you're dealing with local governments, county officials, state officials, everybody's got a lawyer. Now think about this. They have lawyers to use your tax dollars, and this is not to make some sort of a disrespectful content and have everybody get up in arms about it. What I'm saying is that they can use them tax dollar money to come after you if you're doing something in the county or inside the city and bring charges against you. But you and I cannot take that money and use it to defend ourselves if a municipality's coming after us. You ever notice that? I thought that bank money right there was for all of us. I thought it was split 50-50. I think a new law should come on the books to where we turn around, and if you are being, legally approached, you should still be able to hire a lawyer and pay it out of that fund, tax fund. Because look, if everybody's misusing funds, fraud and everything else and everywhere else like that, at least if you're using the funds, it's for a good deed to help you not to be persecuted or charged for a false crime. Because you have to mortgage your house. You already mortgaged your house to pay the taxes and the money to the revenue for the community to work. So I think that is I think that's perfect. Will it change anything? Nah. But again, is it just Port Hope? Is it Huron County? Or is it the good old boys that really don't have an education to take a look at how to solutionize and get with the community? They will not sit down and talk to nobody to fix a dang thing. They don't want to listen to you. It has to be on them, so they're the ones that get the pat on the back when they're at Walmart in the bread aisle. Right? That's what it feels like to me. It's exactly what it feels like to me when I see this and I hear this. That's what I know my state rep did. I brought everything him to fix Medicare problems for people on disability with pre-existing. Oh my Lord, to stop the identity theft and your bank accounts being drawn. I gave him so much stuff and he bailed on me. Why? Because he needs to have that job too. So he's probably using my ideas. But how in the world can't these people all sit down and talk? You talk amongst yourselves about everybody else. How can you not sit down and talk and solutionize? Huh? You could sit in your cafes and your bars, your backyards, and talk about good Christian families that moved into your neighborhood, but you can't sit down and talk to nobody about safety. Make it make sense to me. I can't digest stupidity. You do not have to be a Harvard-educated person to think logically. There's no way. How is that possible that you got to go ask your buddy, hey, they asked me to fix something. How do I go about doing it? Well, hold on. My beer's empty. I got to get another one. Hold my beer. I don't drink anymore, but I wasn't a bar fly. My younger days, I was a bar fly. I wrecked my car. I hit a car. Young boy. You know why? Because I didn't know I was drunk. You know why? I forgot where I was at. You know why? Because I was drunk. You know what? People at the bar, people I worked with, everybody else couldn't give me 1 minute of their attention to say, he's drunk. We should take him home. I still drank. You think I'd have learned. But when I did drink, I drank at home. And in my free time, I helped educate and help people out that was damsel in distress. I paid for my one boo-boo. I'm glad I didn't kill nobody. I asked my state rep, I said, why is our alcohol bars allowed to be open till 2 a.m.? Can't you be drunk enough by 10? You guys are bashing on the cannabis industry, and the cannabis is what's keeping people from being inebriated driving. Do you know how many people have quit drinking to smoke? And yet we're tearing it down. You voted. Remember, they always tell you, make sure you register. Your vote's going to count. Your votes aren't counting. This is a proven example. Port Hope's a proven example. Other counties in Michigan. I know other states, but I'm not doing that. How is that? If your vote's supposed to count, how in the world you can't get something done, something fixed for the better and well-being and safety? When my state rep in the 98th district walked away from me for these ideas, I was blown away. He called the marijuana industry a monster. From his mouth to my ears. And he was sitting down telling everybody, well, I didn't vote for that tax, right? You didn't vote for that tax because you knew the tax was going to go through. You didn't want to be the bad guy. But I'll be danged if you guys won't get a case of beer and go get your buddies and go fishing, and then can't wind your boat up on your boat trailer, and then you get in your car and then you drive down the road, your truck. You don't tell me it ain't done. It's always done. How in the world can Bud Light have posters, welcome snowmobilers, welcome deer hunters, come and get a couple of beers before you go out there with that dangerous piece of equipment or that firearm and get yourself some snow or some buck? I'm not up everybody's butt for wanting to drink. You want to be a full-time drunk and you want to go back in adolescence because your brain is swallowing down into dementia, you have right at it. But don't destroy other people doing it. You know, you talk about child predators and protecting kids. Amen. And I say this, this is just a little commercial. Don't forget when you're moving, you make sure you go to the registry list in any state you live in, and you make sure you find out who's in your areas as well. I didn't do that. There was 4 of them in that little town. I didn't know I was helping out and talking to one of them. I stayed friends with him. Well, I stayed acquaintance with him for a long time because I seen the dirty deeds he was doing. And I wanted to help get him incarcerated. But somebody blew that too, irregardless. If you guys were all friends in school, and that's usually the case when it comes to the good old boys in public seats. If you guys were all friends in school, if you were bullying kids in school, just like Derry Kessel up here, if you were bullying everybody, then you haven't changed in your 45 years being out of school. 40 years. You haven't changed one bit for what you wanted to do or what was supposed to fix. Not one. How do you go to church on Sunday If the Lord knows everything, how do you feel comfortable sitting in the pew trying the word of the Lord or the gospel? I like the word of the gospel. I think it's a little bit better transition of what you're supposed to be as a human. The religions up here attack people. Constant. Constant. They don't bring you cookies. They want to know about you so they can talk about you. Really? Are we that bored? How far have we come? Now that I'm in my early 60s, I didn't realize how fast these last 40 years went. And I tried to make a change every place I was at. Acquaintances is what I've ever met. I got a couple people I can say is friends, but other than that, in my life, I've only had a few acquaintances. A lot of acquaintances. You can't agree to disagree anymore and still be able to be respectful. If you disagree, you're done. But you're supposed to ask for forgiveness. Make that make sense to me. Do I need therapy? No. I'm trying to make sense of it by myself by talking to this, speaking somewhere out in the fresh air. And if any of you people resonate with this, maybe a circumstance happened in your area. Maybe you had a solution. Bring it to the table. Should never turn away from somebody's positive ideas. And this place is doing it. And I've been to other places that have done it. Just because of the good old boys. How do you fix it? Maybe there's no fix. Maybe we're all just going to have to start from now on out. If there's a circumstance or safety issues and people get killed or things go wrong, we just sweep it under the rug and we wait until by the end of the day, the rest of human existence is gone. Right? That's what we're doing. You're totally destroying this beautiful planet by your financial and your population or your popularity. Greed. Who was that one person who always said, did I do that? Who was that on that show or something? I can't remember. Did I do that? Yeah, you did that. Wish I had a water hat on so I could just sip out of a straw. I left my water bottle in my car. I'll manage. You understand what I mean? I watch all these other videos attacking people and doing things, government at the federal levels, all that other stuff, overseas, support this country, support that country. We have too many things in our own four corners to care for, and we ain't doing nothing. But we got 110% effort over the pond. But yet we cannot fix and solutionize here. But we can go over there. We can send all of our jobs and all of our customer service. That was another thing that I brought to my state rep. There should be a law, no more American companies, customer service over the pond. Not because I'm prejudiced. Because all your valuable information just went over to their hard drive. How many people have been ripped off? Even in the last 5 years. How many times have you picked up customer service and it's not from, like when I used to call Bentonville, Arkansas, years ago, Walmart. You talked to somebody who had a southern drawl. Wow. How cool. And you got none of that anymore. And I told him, we need to fix that. Because every time somebody gets ripped off, every time somebody loses a life, our place in our world and our existence goes backwards. Does it not? It does. Do you not hurt at night for other people that you don't know that's in danger? Look at all the stories you hear. I don't even want to talk about it. It sickens me. I hurt when I go to sleep at night, not only physically and in my heart, but in my soul, because I can't believe that we're doing this to each other. I can't believe we've managed to hate each other to the end that you laugh when somebody dies. Rest in peace, Derek Kessel. Whew. I think I'm going to cry a tad bit, people. That guy's story, to die in vain, and people laugh. Oh, man. And you got all these churches, and you got all this religion, you got all these good last names. And you only protect yours from your evil and from your lies, your assaults to other people. And you don't care about a complete stranger. That's what Port Hope is. Port Hope is a hateful town. They literally go to these places like that little restaurant uptown. If you went in there and sat, if I went in there and sat with my phone on, I would probably be amazed how quiet it would be. That place right there is where everybody sits down and gossips. The bar as well. How dare you people not talk about your flowers you just planted or what you're going to do for the week, than to bring more attacks and hate to another individual. Huh? I haven't been hit by this four-corner intersection. I haven't been hit pulling out of my drive in Port Hope. But I've been killed. Huh? Yeah. Everything. You know, it's like to rub your teeth inside, or your tongue inside your mouth of teeth that are gone because of tax, because of humans. People, people, people. Again, look at how far we've come. I want answers. I want solutions. And I want accountability. I want accountability. We're all accountable for our daily functions when we get out of bed in the morning. All of us. And yet we don't care about how bad we've damaged somebody. Really? Rich, greedy people. And they all, here's the thing, they all know what each other have done, and yet they still sit across from them, dipping their buttermilk biscuit in that gravy while they're eating that breakfast and talking. I, myself, could not sit across a dinner table from you, knowing what you have done, and forget about it. The violations, the assault, Derek's death, everything above, people, everything above. Is that how this is supposed to be? And Lord, I tell you what, I hope this video and everything's worked, because I'll tell you what, I think I did okay. Not busted. I got to bust my own, you know, you got to compliment yourself once in a while. Even like if you make a good egg, you go, hey, that turned out pretty good. It's good for you. We're worried about solar farms and we're worried about windmills. You bet. It damaged nature. Nature, which brought friendliness to children, so children could enjoy nature and be happy. But guess what? Is it man that is the destructive one? Or is it the equipment man's putting in? Yeah. And what's it for? Money they can't take with them when they pass. They want all the riches for them. You know, I always prayed, man, if I won 100 million, you know how nice it would be to spend that money to put smiles on struggling families trying to make a life. Not lazy people, Good people, struggling people, people that wanted something. You know how good I would feel? You know how much this illness would be gone from me? If I could direct myself into a happier nation or mindset to do something good. But I wake up every morning stuck in Port Hope and all that nasty evil. I wish there was a teleport machine. I wish Harry Potter's wand was real. Willy Wonka had it right. Well, I want to talk more. I have to talk more. Is this the time to do that? Maybe. I don't sleep anymore. I didn't sleep before when this disease hit me. I got about an hour, hour and a half for 3 years. Just like what I did when I worked 3 jobs, drove truck, and did everything. I never slept. Now I don't sleep because I'm worried, because I'm hurt. That I didn't think I'd be in this condition dealing with incompetence when I should be able to trust the ones sitting in the seats in the communities that you live in, and yet they still can't look out for your well-being when you bring them circumstances. So when I wake up every morning, I have to do their job, right? A job they're being paid for by my money. But I still have to wake up and do their job to get the answers because they said your 3 minutes is up, get out of our room. Oh, we've been tossed out of that council meeting tenfold over. I ain't doing this anymore. I said if I was still here and I was alive, I was going to tell the story. I was going to tell every bit of this to everybody for what this community's done to me. What everybody's had a play in. Every one of them. And they don't care. They get up, they're getting their air conditioner car. I'm still driving an 02. I wouldn't own anything new. Can't fix the dang thing. You got to wait for parts or it's disposable. So why do we have officials sitting in the seats? Why do we pay them? I think we need to remove the officials and we need to have volunteers of the community do their jobs, rotate shifts. You and I, do it together. Just like home doing a craft project with your kid for school. We should remove the councils and the mayors, the commissioners. We'll start with that because it's wasted money. Everybody's in everybody's pocket. I don't wear no tie. I would not cover for anybody that I knew. I don't care how long I've known you. And maybe that's why I get persecuted so much, because I wasn't able to close my eyes. I kept my eyes open, I seen it, and then I spoke about it. Guess what? You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that at all. Right? They turn around. They do this. They've created me. They've created a new me. I've been attacked through my life. I've been attacked through my job. I've been attacked through everything. I've had good people shake my hands and lie on an oath of an agreement. I've never turned my back on any opportunity or any obligation that I've given to anybody in my life. You turned your back on me more than once, and you know it, because you didn't get to finish what you wanted out of it. Do you notice this? If I'm out here, I see very, very, very few birds, deer, turkeys. I'm out here in open fields. It's a beautiful morning. It's not hot. Nice. I ask myself, where is all nature? Is nature upset? Nature's left too? Or have we killed it as well with our greedy, functionable ways? Huh? Have we killed off nature as well because of what we set rules to, what we're allowed to do as a human being? Have we destructed an animal? Is that a hate crime? I think so. You know, a friend of mine, I love his idea, and I'm hoping that maybe somebody gets their crap together. Maybe they don't want me to run. I don't care. Um, he thinks that the state of Michigan should pay for your car deer accidents because they claim they own the deer and you have to have a tag to take one for supporting your family. I don't like people who shoot animals for sport. That's horseshit. And for a rack. That's wasted meat for families that are hungry. I've known people like that. I don't agree with people shooting wild animals like bobcats and coyotes and wolves when they're not doing a dang thing to you. You go hunt them, they don't come hunt you. Is that the same thing that the humans are doing here in Port Hope? Yeah. They're just not using a gun. They prayed and come after me. I feel like a wolf and a coyote and a bobcat. I'm trying to be elusive. I have the benefit over the animals because I can put a bulletproof vest on. Will that work? I don't know. These guys up here, they couldn't shoot straight if they wanted to. I've been to a couple of their ranges. They're dangerous. I quit going. I'm telling you right now, that's a whole nother story. But I know I'm right. Whether anybody agrees or not, that's not relevant here. The destruction we do to creatures that can't defend themselves verbally and vote, hire a lawyer to defend their family from attacks. My family, the same way. Your family might be the same one. A longtime county resident, county employee and resident is still in the hospital from this accident. And all his friends, I don't know what's going on. But I know I'm shocked that everybody offered to pay to do something to fix things here. Trying not to get into the wind because then it messes up my microphone and I don't know how well this is working out, and Lord, I hope it does. But do all his friends and them bail on him? I don't know. I hope not. Just like I told you about the postmaster. Mike and his family didn't bring no harm here. But did one person go across the street and mow his yard and help him out? Just once? Nah. They didn't take 1 minute to do that. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I don't have the money to buy another mower and replace things. But I don't mind helping him. When I seen him, after I ain't seen him for 3 years, we live right down the street from each other. I was blown away on what happened to him. My heart hurt. Just see what happened to him, a stroke. His wife had one a few years back, lost everything. Their world is devastated and upside down. But all the Port Hopians are in that restaurant uptown talking about everybody instead of helping everybody. Huh? The big welcome to everybody. The big welcome. I'm using Port Hope as a reference point because I'm here. And I've seen it. I feel it. I smell it. I taste it. I grind my teeth at night knowing that you people are fine with your acts. I don't know if it's going to work for me. I'm about ready to take that plunge and walk in that restaurant up there and look around that room. Say, see, I told you so. Because they all go in there and they all forget about somebody else, right? Is that how life is supposed to go on? Are you supposed to forget about the ones who have passed in vain? Preventable? Premeditated? I heard at night not knowing these people. But Port Hope is fine. Once they pay their little bit of respects that they feel they're good enough, so their Lord lets them in that freaking pearly gate when they're blessed goes. I hope actually the Lord's changed things up there and he's got little sections and rooms and you guys are all believing it's one open field. I hope there's little itty bitty sections of room and he'll go, hey, you're going to go number 1. Oh, you're down to 34, buddy. You got to go down to room 34 until we get done with you. Right? Be cool. Call them the doors of repent. I don't even know what all that means because I don't go to that bloodline. But I wish the Lord would listen to me and take some of my ideas and put them up there. And then the other pastors that are devious would send down little notes from the sky, like propaganda, and drop it in your yard and go, hey, you ain't gonna believe what I found up here. You better fix what you gotta fix. And you better start straightening up and be good to people. And you need to go back and apologize and you need to fix these things. Because when I got up here, they put me in room 34 and it is misery. I've got to clean up everything I did while I was on earth. That's a great idea, people. Or if you know somebody's at their short end of their life, we go collect them, right? And then we take them to those rooms and we put them in that room. We give them beds and toilets and everything like that, water, but they have to sit there and do that stuff before they leave. They have to make it right. Not for them, but for the people that they did wrong to. Huh? God, that sounds like a great rule. I think it's a fantastic rule. Well, I'm going in town for a minute. I pray. I hope the rest of you are praying for me too that this video works. Not in the reference point that you're going to listen to and agree with me, slap me back, say something, and, call me a case. I don't care. I hope it works for me because I just spoke and got it off my chest finally after being passed out and gone for 3 years with my illness. Is anybody deserving of hate like this? I watch these stuff on the videos in town and everything. I don't want to leave my house. Dude, I was in Myers in Bad Axe years ago when COVID started. That illness started hitting me and I wouldn't know what was going on. That illness was nailing me hard. A guy that worked in there for a merchandiser that I've only just talked to periodically because I've been to other stores and they worked, they did the Walmart, Myers, and all that other stuff, and they stocked the shelves with chips or whatever else. We got a whole bunch of weeds in my door now for doing that. Jumped me with his mask on because I didn't say hi to him one morning when I walked in there. I was over in one section of the store. He lost his shit on me. And I stood there and took it for the first time in my life. And I was in shock. Because I was going back through all the effort, all the hard work to get up here. To be approached with that. Just screamed at me. My wife was standing right beside me. I wish my wife would have said something as a woman. She didn't. I should have said something. I used to. But I realized I was in the wrong area, that I could be the one with the cuffs on. Because I didn't know whose last name that was. Make sense? Makes sense? Yeah, we've all been there. Makes sense. That's what I can't believe that we've become. That's what's destroyed me. I've looked all over the United States to find another place to move. Did a horrible thing and got duped by a guy in Texas on a second mortgage. And then he disappeared. So I could buy a house and move and heal. and separate after a 33-year marriage. And I looked all over the place. And like, where am I to go? Am I going to walk back into that again? Or if I go to a new community, I don't say nothing to nobody. Now, if I didn't talk to nobody, or if I didn't say nothing to nobody, or if I wasn't cordial, guess what they would say? Well, he's a butthole. But then when I'm nice and I'm cordial and I'm helpful, you slander me because you don't like something I've said, done. I didn't violate you, didn't trespass, didn't assault you. That's what you people are. And you don't care. You don't care. How is it like that? These people rush to each other's side to have conversations about somebody, not to rush to each other's side to fix a problem. There should be 10 other people from the community out here just looking at this, going, we got to fix this, we got to fix this. Nobody cares. Everybody stop caring. Living in Port Hope and Huron County has put that bloodline into me. That has put that bloodline into me right out of the gate. I don't care anymore. I don't care to help people. I don't care to volunteer. Because every time I've done that, somebody else wanted something for their gold. Somebody else wanted something for their pocket. They had a premeditated theft or a premeditated relationship that worked for them. They didn't do it for both of us, they did it for one. Right? How does that happen? And not a one of you 2, 3, 4, 5 good old boys look at each other and go, you know what, I think we've been screwing up all of our lives on how we've treated people and how we've done things. We have destroyed Port Hope and Huron County on our own, and we didn't know we were doing it. We were so busy being spoiled little boys from high school that our parents went and took money or their last name power and got you out of trouble for attacking and violating people. Wow. Spoiled. I never seen anything like it, people. I've seen it, but not in this great big amount of magnitude. Sorry, I hate people who drink water when you're on the phone, and I just turned around and did it, so I'm sorry for that noise. But I want to go uptown. I want to give you a little bit more taste of what everybody's doing, because that's exactly why it is the way it is. I'm going to try to do this so my video can just pause and go back, so bear with me, all right? I had to hit my camera so it would go off pause. So we're here. We're back to this beautiful little location. We're back to this spot of everything. Now, let me enlighten you a little bit. So over there's the hardware store. Everybody knows. I don't know how he has all that inventory, that house, and all this. I don't know. He's got a lot of stuff. I'm glad things are working out for him. But when there's no business for 7, 8 months of the year, I don't know how you make it. But I'm all right with that. This is where it's at. This is where all the silent happens. You see what I mean? I guess that restaurant up there is really good. I guess this restaurant really fixed some food. I couldn't go in there and enjoy a meal with the people that treat people the way they do. I couldn't go in there. They wouldn't let me in there. And I don't know these people, but they know me by the words of the foul tongue. Right? I won't go in that gas station. I don't understand it. If they didn't want me in here, they should have done like PAB does up there at Turnip Rock, at that gated industry where people can't take their kids to watch or go see Michigan's tourist attractions. There's an interview process there before you can buy a house. I honestly think that that's what Port Hope should have done to us. They should have interviewed us and asked us all the right questions And if we would have met some of them, I think my wife would have reframed. I know both of us would have reframed from what we were doing. I don't think we'd have given this place one moment of our time. Yeah, that place up there, that started, that's my thing go up. Yeah, that little Homer the Fancy Sloppy Burger. That started one of my hugest problems. Hugest. I just said that, didn't I? That just started one of my biggest setbacks in my world, in my life. Alcoholism. The amount of people coming up here that are drawing government money and can drink and play pool, drive cars, they're supposed to be blind. Social Security should come up here and go through a few of these people that literally are stuck in the system dry. You know what I mean? The people that are from out of town, they don't know any better. The people that are from out of town are the ones coming up here because they're getting away from the hustle and bustle. They just want different atmosphere, serenity, right? Serenity. But do they know Port Hope like I know Port Hope? When these vacationers come up here, I get it. I want a vacation away from these humans. You guys leave the city to come up here and you don't realize that you're walking into another place twice as bad than where you came from. I kid you not. Right here. Shame on you. It's amazing how that works. I understand wanting a vacation. You know how many vacations my family and I've had over the years? 2. 33 years. Never got out. Always something going on. Always something doing something. Even as much as all the volunteer work and everything we was doing. I mean, dear Lord, we had health issues. Family was ill. Family troubles. Anything that went on. Anything that went on. So vacations are important. Time with your family to get to know one another and respect each other again. So then you trickle that off in your presence with a complete stranger. Not here. They don't practice that here anymore. They don't want to practice that here anymore. They're selfish. It's their desire. And I don't understand what the gain is. I literally don't understand what the gain is. Why do you want to be like that? Do you know how much work I've done for the people that have shown my family? I've helped them with their internet. I've helped them with their vehicles, their lawnmowers, snow removal, taking them to doctor's appointments. Shared something with them. But this place, it ain't the same. It ain't for everybody. Do your homework when you move. Go up and live there. Ask around before you think you're going to make a big hump like this one. Try to find a place that you won't have this same burdenable setbacks as my soul has. Huh? Not here. Not here. They don't care. I walked into that hardware store, never knew that guy. That guy kept his head down, didn't invite me in, didn't even ask me what I need help with. That place. And I just come here. First time I ever been here. I shower. I'm not on the registry. I don't deal drugs. Not an alcoholic. But I think that's what my portfolio should have been. Because I watched the religion up here support and help and bail out the people that are in trouble and incarcerated and gone to jail. I'm right here watching them. But a good Christian family just wanting to live, they're not going to give you the time of day unless you blend in somehow. Unless you blend in with what their dirty ways of survival is. Seriously. The guy that cleaned up and did all this house, he's been around here for over 20 years. He's a local contractor without a license. Trust my word to that. Local contractor. I turned him into LARA. They didn't do nothing. He's been making money. He did all of this house or this building, painted, did a bunch of molding work, done windows. That kid's made so much money, this old man, all the way down to Ann Arbor. But don't come up here to Port Hope and talk about what you're taking away from them. You can't do that. You can't do that. Don't you diss town and call out the dirty deeds, call out the disrespect, because your last name is not here. Now, if your child gets injured and die, they're right on it. But if we want to protect other children, they don't want to give two shits and listen. So I'm here. I told them I was here, and I was coming back. And shame on you people. Shame on your disrespect. We put those signs out there to slow people down. You know what they did? Faster. Faster. They didn't go, hey, he's asking us to slow down. Must be something, maybe we're going too bad. Respect it and just drive through. You don't have to stop and have a conflict with us. But when you prove to us that that's how you roll, and yet you want to welcome people and revenue to come up here, I know there's other places like this. Kindy's the only town that don't have a bar. I should have moved over there. I didn't know it, but it was too far away from the work. Kindy doesn't have a bar. This town used to have 3 of them. 3 of them. Three bars, people. There was Parrishville. If you go on to Google Map, Parrishville down there was 3 bars in that little town. Yeah, I think we have a serious problem. And as I sit here, I keep thinking that this is just a dream that I'm in because I hadn't got enough sleep. And when I wake up, I've actually moved to a safer place for me and my family so I can start over again and survive. Oh, these people up here will support this place. When I put the truth down on a Democratic's I Love Port Hope page, talking about how nasty the Republicans were to me, you know what they did? They turned right around and deleted my post. They turned right around and deleted my post. Oh, right there's my big culprit right there. I hope the county talked to him. I finally got a deputy to listen to me and make these boys act like they got respect. I can't thank that deputy enough. I cannot thank that deputy enough. Shame on you people. Well, I think I'm getting a bellyache. I'm still sitting in Port Hope. I think I should probably stop for a while. I need to take a break from everything. You guys listen once again. Play this video again. You'll never hear me do anything in the wrong towards somebody who's done nothing. I'm bringing out the truth of what people have done and are doing here. I wonder how many other people that are sitting inside of their house in the middle of Port Hope right now that moved up here and have been pushed back into their home because of the good old boy residents here. Pushed them right back into their house. And they can't come outside and enjoy. They're financially having troubles because of the economics, and they can't move out of a place that they despise because of the way they treated them. Don't that make sense? Don't that make sense? It don't make sense. How in the world? And you know what these people want? They want you to spend their money here so they can put it in the bank. Why are you going to spend your money here and put it in the bank for them when they don't care about the well-being of strangers, children? Huh? It's revenue. That word revenue has got to be the criminal of society. If you own a bar, I mean, literally, think about that. If you own a bar And you tell people you're a business owner and you're giving revenue back to the state and the community. Do you realize that you cause more accidents than deer? But you're not accountable for it. Not one bit. And you want revenue from people to come here, good people, so you can keep right on lying. You can keep right on deceiving. You turn people against each other because of your jealousy. Right here in Port Hope, I've walked it, I've tasted, I've listened to it, I've smelled it. It starts before I ever put my head outside the door. The own people of this community who own businesses are the same ones that talk shit about people and run them in the ground. Same ones. Is there going to be a fix here? I've had enough. I'm going to bring in a law. Any trucks inside the state of Michigan, farmers especially, are going to have to be legalized to governing. You're going to have governors on your trucks. You're not going to do Mach 70 hauling grain. I drove. My truck was 62. Yep, my truck was 62 governors. You know what it's like to haul a 34,000-pound coil, go down a hill, and pray I got enough goomp to get back up that hill so I don't have to go in between gears. Woo, Nelly. Right here. Am I trying to destroy Port Hope? No. I'm trying to let them know that I am here, and I'm not silent. I've never been silent. I can't be silent because you did it to me and my family. Did you have any reason, and was there something you were gaining by destroying us? You've destroyed other families here, you don't care. You've destroyed other families here, and you have forgotten them. Is that morally correct? Is that right? Is that what we're teaching our kids to do? Is that why kids are going to jail at 12 years old? At 12 years old, if we stole gum, we had to go work at the store we stole it from. That's all we ever done. Does the problem start with mindsets and attitudes like people like this? It does. It can happen in the small town. It happens in your big town. Because of the acts of the adults, we have children that don't respect the human being. I watch innocent kids on my road up there, and I prayed every day nobody would get hit because nobody listened to me. Wow, people. Make it make sense to me. I have no obligation to make it make sense to you, because this just seems like a huge training class that should have never been on. The book to advance for your tomorrow. Everything these people do is for their tomorrow, not yours. When I talk to that commissioner who's being recalled, he goes, yeah, that's my town. I don't want to see that like no more. Do you know he lied to me just as bad as the rest of the people? I'm sure he talked to a Bible toter. I'm pretty sure one of them said something horrible about my family. And how dare him, after meeting me and my wife, maybe take that into digestion. You're taking in somebody else's foul disrespect of somebody else you don't even know, but then you decided they weren't going to be somebody you want to meet because you heard a lie. You heard rumors. but yet you've met the person before and they never brought any kind of harm and any kind of danger to you. But yet you stay away from them, maybe by intimidation from the last name, the good old boy network. If you go talk to them people, you're not going to be my buddy no more. You know what I'd say? Thank God. I'd rather go to the other side. You know, how was that? Luke, you come to the dark side, right? Maybe that's how it works. You see them two little kids? I don't want to visit them. There's two little kids walking with their dad and they're holding hands. That's what my anger's over. That's the kids for tomorrow. And I have adults in this community that won't make it safer for them. This little town, how hard is it going to be to fix that? It is not huge. These guys will all come together and bail people out of jail that are criminals, but they won't come together to save one more life. Them people who live beside us that were in and out of trouble, you couldn't believe the old people from the church that was bringing them food, supplies, clothing, and stuff from the food pantry. I don't even go to the food pantry because of the people in there and how they treat us, so we'll go in there. I could have used some of that even when my grandkids were here. But I'm okay with that. But you know what happens at that food pantry? The Coughlin, who got that $50,000 supposedly, they take all the rest of the food for themselves and put it out in their house and in their house and they don't take it to a shelter. If the food pantry has extra food left, it shouldn't go to one of the volunteers. It should go to a shelter. But no, they put it in the back of their truck and take it home. Tell me that's morally right. It's not. And I'm getting slapped back because I'm bringing out how hard it is for me to understand the fact that you think you're trying to save a community that you are actually disrupting and you actually disrespect all day long. Your dirty ways, you're cheating. My. You know, when I ran my business, somebody called the IRS on stuff. We got all audited. Somebody turned us in. Somebody must have made up a great story. But guess what happened? I made $1,000, 800 or something like that. But they put us through hell. Trying to destroy me because I was getting too close to the truth of something. And you know what the truth of it is? The truth that I found is the deception. The truth I found is deception. Right here. There's a guy that's coming by right now. I'm not going to show his vehicle. He lives around the corner. They attacked him as well. They attacked him nonstop. A good old boy last name. Come to find out, he was a wife beater. He's got a clown and everything out down on this road. Now, him and I don't talk. He hangs out to the bar and everything up there. I don't want to go talk to him. I think he was decent, but I got my own worries. I got my own protection. My own well-being I have to look out for, right? But does this town itself, in its governing body and its residents, actually care about the other people in this community when it takes all of this and every accident, every death is only thought of momentarily, and then we don't fix it? If that girl died, whoever it was back then, and this town has continued to do what it's going to do, how in the world am I living in a place that's going to change it all? And how can I sell you my house? I can't sell you my house if this place is doing what it's doing to people. I can't sell you my house and have your family be in danger and violated as well as mine. I'm not doing that. I don't hate people that I don't know. These people will do that. They will follow suit. They want you in, but not for long. Drop a $10 bill on the table and go home. Bring the money and the revenue to me. But don't complain and don't ask to fix something that's an issue. Because our residents are not allowed to think. Our residents are not allowed to come up with a moment in their life to address the concern. Because I didn't know that when you had a mayor and council in your towns and your villages, that you are not allowed to really go in and speak about anything. And when I've gone in there, they have us go to the meeting first and talk. So we're told to leave, so then they can have their little silent meeting, gets paid, and go home. If Port Hope was ever to be audited, it would be great. I think the governing body books and their expenses and stuff should be audited. I think that I understood from somebody else that they're paying people unemployment who are not working the full benefits like you and I would. They're doing a lot of things here. Is it right? I have no idea. I think it's wrong. Is it true? I have no idea. But how here did what it did to us and other people, as I've dipped into this, I have found out there's more people that's been in the same position as me. They just didn't come out here and speak it. Wow, wow, wow. Pause for a minute. Pause and breathe for a minute. Go out there's that big open water. Big open water out there. Peacefulness. I don't think it's me that can't get along with humans. I think we've just become destructive. I think we've just become that. I don't think COVID helped the idiots. I think they become more, no. Now, I'll pass on that one. But when they were horrible before, and then COVID did what it did, they become twice as horrible. What am I supposed to do at this point? I'm shocked. I have no idea. I wish I had a cure. I wish I had a miracle. And the other people are afraid to side with me because if I leave, they got to deal with them. It sounds like Nazism to me. Sounds like Nazism to me. You hear that quiet? Yeah. That's the hidden secret in Port Hope, is the quiet. Be quiet. Don't speak. Don't talk about what we're doing. We were doing it before you got here. When I had somebody up the political ladder that I called because I was trying to get things done, they said it's so dirty and bad, it's been doing this for 80 years. I said, huh? That's a long time. That's a long time. Well, people, I'm gone. Do I know? I don't. But I hope you respect me for what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. I know there's somebody else out there. I want to know your story. I want to know why we're concentrating on the wrong things in our nation. Why are we concentrating on the wrong things in our nation instead of the well-being of others? I'm asking for a total dismemberment of this council and this mayor. The commissioner's already on his way out. I don't have respect for the sheriff. And where I come from, I did have respect for the badge. The officer that came yesterday, I got the utmost respect for him. And the one prior to that, to my house, showed 110% decorum. The lady on 911 handled herself real well with me. She put the brakes on me, calmed me down, and sent my phone number over to an officer to talk to. I can't thank that woman enough for her professionalism and her ability to be stern and strong without nastiness. She pulled it off. I called and complimented them. I thanked them. I thanked them for what they did. I've thanked her for what she did towards me. You know how many other people would say, who do you think you are? That guy in a little Ranger pickup right there, he burnt me for 40 bucks installing lights on his ATV. Why? Because he was a Lutheran related to the rest of the people here. I have to tell you what religion it is. Not because I hate the religion, because how many other Lutherans and Catholics out there do this to their own community? I understood it's only in Huron County, at least especially in Port Hope. That's what I understood. Huh. Am I lost? I'm lost beyond imagination. When I thought I was dealing with adults, I didn't think it was hard to sit down and have a conversation to fix something. Maybe they're all embezzling money up there. Maybe they have a business and drawing pension, Social Security, disability. Maybe they're doing a little bit of everything. Who knows? I didn't want to be sick. I didn't want to be physically struck. I enjoyed being tired working. I enjoyed all my efforts I put into this. But is this a crime for my illness? I know it is. Is there anybody out there strong enough to help me fight it? Nah, maybe not. It'd be nice. It'd be absolutely sweet. Not in a revenge factor, but in a legal factor of respect. That it's too bad I literally have to take this all the way up to legal action in courtrooms just because of what you've done to me, and you've gotten away with it. You've not been arrested. Yeah, that's what I said. All right, everybody. Persecuted author, man. I'm doing the best I can. I don't know if this is works or if it's right, but I did it. I'll be back with some more. I'll probably repeat myself a few times. That's okay. Because I'm having a conversation with you even though you're silent on the backside. I'm having a conversation with you and you're talking back to me. Yep. I'm having a conversation with you and you're talking back to me. And I do appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. This is different than some of the other stuff you see on YouTube. I'm not trying to compete with anybody else's fancy ability because I don't have much money to do things. I have to do it the old-fashioned, simple way. But I hope the format, I hope the channel doesn't get removed because I care. I care about me and my family. I care about my grandkids and my daughters. And if I don't do something like this before my time has passed, I would have let them down as a whole. I would have let them down as a whole by me not standing out here and boy, are the people looking at me. I would be letting my kids and grandkids down. Because Grandpa didn't do his job that I was put on this earth to do. And that's just be a good person. I tried my best. I've made my mistakes. And I'll tell everybody right now, my mistakes were on me. I didn't bother anybody else. I didn't break in your windows and assault you at nighttime. When I think of my grandkids, and I think of their tomorrows, I think of these kids that I see down the street down here. I'm not one of those to get in anybody's face with a camera. I ain't gonna do that. I don't believe in that. I don't pull that. But I do know that when I see these little kids walking around, with a virgin mind and concept to not be abused mentally, physically, verbally. So they're willing to pass off the torch of a better society. And everybody thought the problem was in the city. And yet I'm standing in the middle of one of the towns in Huron County, and it's doing that to everybody. And everybody thought the disruption was in the city, and the kids down there were being tainted in toxicity because of the hate, the anger. But yet it happens right here. It happens right here. Man, I sure hope somebody helps me fix this. You see these lines here? All the way down that street right there. You can pass all the way through this town. My state rep walked from me. I told him it was a danger zone. I told him it was a danger zone. You know, when you used to be a good person and kind and everything, and it only takes one small community to destroy you to where you're heartless to anybody else, whose fault is that? Is it you because you didn't forgive and just let them walk all over you and shit on you and destroy you and your family? Or was it the people, the good old boys here? Is it fair? Hell no, it ain't fair. Do I care if any of you people care about what I think and how I talk about you? I don't. But you've molded me to somebody different that I never thought would be. You've changed me from what I thought I wanted to be. You changed me from what I was looking forward to doing. And you're all okay with that. And you all go about your day. You come into town, you do your lunch, you drink your beer, you get your gas, you get your mail, you get your ice cream, and you go home and you put your blinders on, knowing the things that have happened, past, present, and or possible future. I went to that church. I was shaking so bad with my illness. I was very surprised that I couldn't get a healing in there. I don't even want to tell you what I experienced when I was in there. And I walked down here thinking for 1 minute that if I was going to have peace in my soul, I'd have done it inside that room. And coming from the southern parts of Ohio, Baptist, Protestants, and everything else like that, when I was a kid and anybody walked into a church and stuff like that, they didn't care what you looked like or how you were dressed. I had one woman in there, an older woman, that touched me on my shoulder and says, "Welcome to our church." The pastor didn't even sit and talk to me. I walked in the door and I said, "Where's the healing? I need it." And I showed them how bad I was physically. Guess what I got? I didn't get a prayer for my soul. Wow. How's that possible? Maybe I hadn't been outside of the world long enough to know that this is the new norm. Then I wouldn't be making this video, or I wouldn't have been ill. I would have just said, "Hey, that's just the way it goes. I'll just get up tomorrow, do my thing." That could be. Maybe I just stumped on something. Maybe having conversations in this video, talking to you, helps me resonate into something and get some personal answers. I don't know if I'll ever have closure. I'm not looking for closure. I'm looking for a solution. I'm looking for a solution so nobody else goes through this and nobody has this problem. But maybe this is the new norm. And if it is, I'm going to have to get with my daughter, and she's still my wife, but my partner, my friend, and we're going to have to rechange the learning books for our grandkids to adapt to this so they don't feel heartbroken and disturbed. Huh? They'll go, "Oh, we read about this. My parents taught me. This is normal for humans." Maybe that's exactly what we're going to have to start doing. Maybe then there won't be such a shell shock anymore. We can already sit down on the books and tell them, say, yeah, this person does this to this person does that to that person, this person got killed because of this attack and this violation, this rape, but that's the new norm. Welcome to the future. Welcome to the future. I pause because I want to cry. I want to cry for days. Because when I was a kid, we were outside, we were playing, we were doing things. We helped neighbors. I remember my parents. I remember my dad bought a 72 Ford pickup truck. We lived in the country, Branch County. And he had all of us go around and clean the ditches in a truck in the country. My dad. I was a kid. Like, okay, we're going to go. What are we going to do? Oh, we're going to pick up garbage. Oh, it's great. It's fun. He put plywood sides on his 72 two-wheel drive camper special. Nice truck, two-wheel drive. And we worked like slaves. But you know what that was? That was good. That was fun. I didn't harm nobody. I took care of something. We cleaned. We respected something that wasn't ours. Another part of the county, another part of the road. And we took care of it without even having special interest in it. Because it wasn't our property, but it was our community. A country. I mean, we're talking boomsticks country back then. Back then, the Branch County Police Department had Suburbans. And the Suburbans had stretchers in them. That was the best way because all patrol cars had a stretcher for accidents. You didn't have to wait for EMS. You know, everything, it worked. It was such a great, sweet deal. The Suburbans were the hottest ticket in the world. But yeah, that's what we did. That's what my dad had us do. Did I grow up in a perfect? No. Did we have our fair share of issues? Oh man, beyond imaginations, we had our fair share of issues. But they were solvable. The same as here. The same as in your town. It's solvable if one person don't want to do it. It's truly solvable, but they don't want to do it. It wasn't their idea. It wasn't their plan. Tons and tons of good American families want a huge change. And you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid it's impossible. I'm afraid it's impossible to change what they have become. Not what you or I have become, because we're not the one in question here. Them. The same ones here. If they love this town so much and it's a big welcome, they should all be able to be told to straighten up by their friends. And when Derek Kessel got violated and beat up and raped and killed, I say killed, nobody cared. No one. If I walked out in this road right now and get hit, I bet they'd wait 15 minutes to make sure I wasn't breathing before 911 was called. Is that how you're supposed to do that? It's not how it's supposed to be done. I gotta give you a different view for a minute. Because I thought I was gonna go. I'll wait just a second. Oh, I gotta pick up a tire puncher. I just found a thing in the dang driveway, and I don't think anybody wants to have a flat tire on the way to whatever destination I'm going to. A lot of breeze. I hope that's not messing up my microphone. It probably will. Give you just a quick scenery look. mean, it's not much of one. I can't zoom in very far. But it's a different little bit of a look of the lake out there. You know, most of you have seen it. There's hardly any water. The shore has just receded to no end. I don't know. It's gone. You can't even get out there in a kayak. You got to go out so dang far. You know, these are all deserted buildings. I mean, it is what it is. They done it to themselves, the way I look at it. And I didn't mind that when I moved up here. I can go in any direction. I have to travel an hour plus to recycle now. They took recycling away from me. But that's another point of my conversation. Why take away from taking care of the community? Huh? Wasn't making you any money? Does it always have to make you money before you do anything? Or can you just do it because your heart says to? Or you do it because somebody decent says to? Ask. I shouldn't say says. Ask. You know, I never understood people, and that's a pretty nice motor home right there, but I never understood people spending all that money for another home on wheels to go up to another community full of another bunch of people. I thought when you wanted to go camping away from the city, you had to go somewhere quiet. But that's me. I wouldn't spend $150,000 on a camper to go set a bunch of other people drinking and farting and doing all sorts of stuff like that. And I apologize, I shouldn't have said fart. That's kind of like, that's not my vocabulary, but it was funny for the moment. Well, I'm going to go before I bore you. I'll have more conversation. I know I will. I just want a solution. I just want a fix. That's what I want. I want respect to be restored. I want you people to ask for forgiveness. Don't come to me. Man, I know you're not gonna, but I'm not coming. I'm not forgiveful. Not anymore. But maybe you should do before your heart stops beating. Because I don't want you running around inside of this town tormenting it as a crappy little ghost person and terrorizing the community continuously even after your death. I want you to completely pass through and go exactly where you deserve to go. Not where you want to go, but where you deserve to go, so the rest of us can live in peace. Everybody take care. I really appreciate the time. Again, I hope this video works out. I hope it audio and everything does. I'm exhausted. It's obvious. But I got fight in me. Fight in me to get an answer. Take care of yourself, guys. Later.